Certainly. Here's a story about a couple dealing with infidelity. Title: Fractured Trust. Chapter 1. The cracks begin in the quaint town of Willowbrook, where everyone knew everyone's business. David and Emma Harrison were seen as the perfect couple. They had been married for 15 years, and their lives seemed as harmonious as the cherry blossoms in their garden. David was a well-respected local architect, and Emma ran a charming bookstore cafe that had become a social hub in town. They were admired for their seemingly flawless relationship. But appearances can be deceiving. Emma had always been the one to bring warmth and laughter into their home. However, recently, her demeanor had changed. She was more distant, preoccupied, and David noticed the subtle shifts in her behavior: late-night phone calls, unexplained absences, and a lingering sadness in her eyes. One evening, while Emma was out for what she claimed was a business meeting, David decided to look into her recent activity. It was a decision driven by a gut feeling more than any concrete evidence. He discovered a series of text messages on Emma's phone from a contact named M. They were affectionate, and their tone was intimate, revealing a side of Emma that David hadn't seen before. David's heart sank as he read through the messages. He felt betrayed and hurt, but he wanted to confront Emma directly rather than jump to conclusions. That night, he waited for her to come home. Chapter 2. The Confrontation. Emma walked in, her face lighting up with a forced smile. David was sitting at the kitchen table, the unread messages in hand. The tension was palpable as he looked up at her. "Emma, we need to talk," David said, trying to keep his voice steady. Emma's smile faltered. She could sense the gravity in his tone. She took a seat opposite him, her heart racing. "I came across some texts on your phone," David began. "From someone named M. They seem quite personal." Emma's face went pale. She tried to gather her thoughts, but her mind was racing. She had hoped to keep her affair hidden, but now the truth was surfacing in the most painful way. "David, I didn't mean for you to find out like this," Emma said, her voice trembling. "I've been having an affair." David's face was a mix of shock and pain. "Why, Emma? We have a good life. Why would you do this?" Emma's eyes filled with tears. "It wasn't about you, David. It was about me. I felt lost. I thought I could find myself again through someone else, but I was wrong. I'm so sorry." Chapter 3. The fallout. The days following the confrontation were filled with silence and introspection. David was devastated, but he also knew that he needed to understand why Emma had strayed. Emma, on her part, was racked with guilt and regret. She wanted to make amends but knew that rebuilding trust would be a monumental task. They decided to seek counseling, both individually and together. The therapy sessions revealed deeper issues. Emma's feelings of inadequacy and David's emotional distance had been festering for years. The affair was a symptom of a much larger problem. As they worked through their issues, David and Emma faced the harsh reality of their fractured relationship. There were moments of anger and despair, but there were also moments of genuine communication and understanding. They began to rebuild their connection, learning to be honest and open with each other. Chapter 4. Rebuilding. Months passed, and though the road to healing was long and arduous, David and Emma slowly began to see progress. Emma ended the affair and made a sincere effort to mend the damage. David, though still hurt, saw the effort Emma was putting into their relationship. They spent time rediscovering each other, finding joy in the little things that had once brought them closer. It was not an easy process, and there were times when the pain resurfaced, but they were committed to making it work. Emma took up a new hobby, painting, and David began to appreciate the beauty in her artwork. They found solace in small moments, like sharing a cup of coffee or walking through the cherry blossom trees in their garden. Epilogue: A new beginning. Years later, David and Emma Harrison still lived in Willowbrook. Their relationship was not as it once was, but it had transformed into something deeper and more resilient. They had learned that trust, once broken, takes immense effort to rebuild, but it can lead to a stronger bond if both partners are willing to work through the pain. They continued to face life's challenges together, knowing that their journey was one of growth and renewal. The cherry blossoms still bloomed in their garden, a symbol of their enduring love and commitment. I hope this story captures the emotional journey of dealing with infidelity and the path to healing.